Hi, and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee, in for Phil Gallagher. Joining me tonight are BNews Director Rich Hosford, BNews reporters Tad Stefanak and Robert Paris, BCAT intern Madison Metzdorf, Weather with Peter Brown, Chris Flaherty with Community Calendar, and Joe Viscioni with Sports. Burlington's 2019 town election was this past Saturday, and we now know the results. For the breakdown of who won, who lost, and how voters decided the ballot question, we go to BNews Director Rich Hosford in our election center. Rich?
Thanks, Linda. As said, the results for the Burlington Town Election 2019 are in, and there will be 2 new faces in town government, and the way the town chooses its next treasurer tax collector has changed. In the race for the 2 open seats on the Burlington Board of Selectmen, challenger Nick Priest beat out 2-term incumbent Chris Hartling with 1,675 votes to 1,377. Incumbent Robert Hogan was elected to a 3rd term with 1,415 votes. We spoke to the candidates after the election during our annual live election night coverage. I asked Nick Priest about his early priorities on the board. Here's what he had to say.
I think I definitely want to take a look at communication and, community engagement, things that I ran on, things that people said resonated very strongly with them, and go from there. Not to say that I've got 3 years to kick back and figure it out, but I have a plan that I want to discuss with the rest of the selectmen and see what we can do.
In the planning board race, incumbent Carol Perna was beat out by challenger and Board of Appeals member Mike Espejo. In total, Espejo garnered 1,589 votes to Perna's 888. During our after-election coverage, I asked Espejo what he is looking forward to accomplishing on the board. Here's what he had to say.
There's a lot of exciting things going on. I'm excited for the life sciences to come into town. I think with small cell, I'm excited to see what happens with that. I think we're ahead of most communities with the small cell committee and all that. Just in all the development in town and just jumping right in and bringing, again, a new face to the planning board and working hopefully better with our business community on the planning board and making Burlington a more attractive place for businesses to come and to make Burlington even greater than it is already.
The ballot question to change the treasurer tax collector position from elected to appointed passed by 1,565 votes in favor to 1,038 votes against. Finally, the only other contested townwide race was for constable. In that race, incumbents William Pepicelli and Anthony Saya held on to their positions with 1,367 votes and 1,447 votes respectively. Challenger Dennis Otis came up slightly short with 1,332 votes. You can find the full election results on our website at bcattv.org/bnews. I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford in our election center. Now back to you, Linda, in our studio.
Thank you, Rich. Burlington's longtime treasurer tax collector, who was reelected on the same day voters passed a ballot question changing how that position was to be filled, said he is not looking to leave anytime soon. Brian Curtin, who was first elected as tax collector in 1976 and in 1977 also became treasurer when the town combined those positions, told BNews in an interview on Monday that he is willing to stay on for as long as members of the Board of Selectmen feel they need him. According to Town Clerk Amy Warfield, under state law after the ballot question was passed, the Board of Selectmen has up to 3 years to make a 3-year appointment. Curtin had announced his retirement last year by saying he would not run for re-election this year, which was the trigger for the push for the ballot question. However, when then Town Administrator John Petrin said he was also retiring this year, and it seemed clear that then Town Accountant Paul Sagarino would seek that position, Curtin said he decided to reverse course so as not to have too sudden a change in the town's financial team and leadership. He said that after deciding to run for re-election again, he also decided to stay on for as long as he could. When the question was posed to members of the Board of Selectmen after Monday night's meeting about when they might consider starting the appointment process, member Bob Hogan said they will be discussing that at the next meeting. When asked if they had confidence in Curtin's job performance, Board Chairman Joe Morandi simply replied with one word: absolutely, he said. On Monday evening, the Board of Selectmen, as they do after every town election, reorganized the board. Selectman Mike Runyon nominated Joe Morandi to become the new chairman of the board to replace Chris Hartling, who, after 2 years as chair, did not win re-election on Saturday. The board voted 4-0-1 in favor of Morandi, with the new chairman opting to abstain. After being made the new chair, Morandi joked that he hopes the next year goes smoothly with him at the helm. He said, quote, "I hope I do a good job. It won't be a Chris Hartling show. It will be a Joe Morandi show, which should be interesting." Morandi took a minute to say some words about the election, the winners, and also about Hartling.
I would like to say one thing about the election. It was great to have the turnout we had. Naturally, Mr. Priest is right about the people that didn't vote. Congratulations on both your wins. And I would also like to thank Mr. Hartling for everything he's done for this town of Burlington for the tenure that he was here. He taught me a lot, along with the other members of the board prior to Mr. Priest coming on. So, Chris, I just want to say thank you for everything you taught me, and to the rest of the guys.
Thank you. The Burlington Board of Health, Fire Department, and Police Department teamed up to provide training for residents to teach them what to do if they are first on scene at an emergency and waiting for emergency services to arrive. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
Would you know what to do if you were first on scene at an emergency where someone was injured and needed immediate assistance? Recently, the Merle Kelly Room of the Human Services Building was full of people learning just those skills. It was part of a joint venture by the Board of Health, Burlington Fire Department, and the Burlington Police Department, who were teaching people what to do if they are first on scene and waiting for professional help to arrive. The training is called Until Help Arrives.
So the Until Help Arrives program was developed by FEMA and the Department of Health and Homeland Security. The program is designed to give people the skills and the confidence that they need to help someone who's injured and bleeding before first responders arrive to the scene.
The training covers a wide variety of skills to equip people to do what is necessary in multiple types of situations.
The areas that are covered are things like how to keep yourself safe in an emergency situation, how to call 911 so that you're giving the dispatchers the information that they need to get there quickly, how to stop the bleed, and the program goes over some techniques for doing that, how to position the injured, and finally, how to provide comfort.
The program, which is taught nationwide, has been proven to be effective.
So we know now through statistics and data of previous emergencies that the public can make a difference, and they can actually make a difference of between life and death, of being able to do interventions and have training before EMS or first responders get there that will actually help save someone's life. And that's why we think it's important to arm these people with the training and the tools.
Some people may be wary of getting involved in an emergency due to the fear of making a situation worse on accident, but experts say that with some basic training, everyone is capable of learning how to help if they are first on scene.
That's why we try to make it as easy as possible and try to emphasize that anybody can do it. That you don't have to have special training, you don't have to be specially medically trained or have certifications, that anyone can do it and that it is easy and that you'd be surprised what you can do in an emergency situation, that you will actually be able to help somebody, and that it doesn't take a lot of training.
Finally, anyone interested in attending a future training or any business looking to get training for their employees can contact the Board of Health.
So they can call the Board of Health office and let us know that they're interested. Either they could be a member of the public, they're interested in attending the program, or maybe they're a business in town who would like to have it for their employees.
From the Human Services Building, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
Thank you, Rich. Police are telling drivers to keep your eyes on the road and off your phones while driving. Chief Michael Kent says that the Burlington Police Department is participating in a statewide distracted driving enforcement campaign and is reminding residents to remain focused and vigilant behind the wheel. April is designated as National Distracted Driving Awareness Month by the National Safety Council. As part of this campaign, the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security has awarded the Burlington Police Department a grant of roughly $1,000 to increase patrols throughout April, and officers will be on the lookout for distracted drivers. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 9 people are killed daily in motor vehicle crashes that involve a distracted driver, and approximately 1,000 are injured. Massachusetts law prohibits drivers from writing, sending or reading electronic messages, using apps, or browsing the internet while driving, even if stopped at a light or in traffic, the release states. Drivers under 18 are prohibited entirely from using mobile phones and other electronic devices while driving. Fines for violating this law can be as high as $500, and teen drivers can also lose their license for up to 1 year. Chief Kent said distracted driving is a critical public safety concern, and the Burlington Police Department urges residents to be responsible on the road and pay attention. Put your phone away and always have one hand on the wheel. It only takes a momentary distraction to cause an accident that could take a life. The Highway Safety Division recommends that motorists keep in mind the following tips for the sake of safety. Turn your phone off and put it where you can't reach it before driving. Let your friends and family know that you'll be driving and can't take their call or text. Pull over to a safe place if you have to make a call or send a text. Do not text and drive, browse the internet, or read email while driving. Start GPS navigation or review maps before you start driving. Secure pets properly before driving so that they do not become a distraction. Avoid drinking, eating, smoking, or any other potentially distracting activities while driving. A beloved Burlington High School art teacher has been recognized with a biannual award. The BHS Art Department says that they are all elated to find out that Joanne Vignew received this year's Agarwal Award for Excellence in Teaching and said it was a much-deserved honor. Every 2 years since 2003, Mr. and Mrs. Agarwal have sponsored the Pushap Lata Agarwal Award, which recognizes excellence in teaching at Burlington High School, the blog explains. Every other year, BHS teachers are nominated, a committee is formed and reviews the nominations, and a deserving nominee is selected and awarded $1,000. Joanne grew up in Burlington, attended Burlington Public Schools, and she's been a longtime teacher at Burlington High School. The art department said in a blog that Mrs. Vignew has dedicated her life to teaching students to love art and that she has enhanced the experience for Burlington youth. Whether it be in her classroom, quietly showing up to support extracurricular activities, or coaching softball, she has enhanced the experience for thousands of students at Burlington High School and has never done it to seek accolades. A group of Burlington middle schoolers have shown they have what it takes to win in a state competition and head to the national finals. In its first year sending teams to the National History Day, Marshall Simons Middle School made its presence known with 4 students qualifying for the national competition in Washington, D.C. this June. The 7th grade team of Nolan Martin, Matt Shannon, and Emerson Wassner won the documentary competition for their film on the Woburn Cancer Cluster. The documentary details the fight of Woburn families to first identify the source of an uptick in leukemia cases, ensure that contaminated water supplies were discontinued, and to seek justice from the polluters. Their in-depth efforts included interviews with attorney Jan Schlittman, victims' mothers Mary Toomey and Donna Robbins, and reporter Dan Kennedy. The documentary, made with a combination of file footage, old photos and news reports, and interviews, offers a great overview of the situation in Woburn at that time. Also, 6th grader Julia Schwartzman qualified for the national competition in the performance category for her informative presentation on Rosie the Riveter. Schwartzman completed her passion for acting, or coupled her passion for acting, with hours of research on Rosie the Riveter to take 2nd place in the state in her category. Local singer and songwriter Howie Newman went down to the Council on Aging on Monday, April 8th, to provide an entertaining show featuring original songs and music based on baseball teams and former players. BNews reporter Robert Paris and BNews intern Madison Metzdorf were there and have this look.
A lifetime Bostonian, sports writer, musician, and baseball fanatic Howie Newman was invited to perform for the Council on Aging on Monday, April 8th.
Why did you go, Johnny Damon? Why did you take the cash and run? Do you think in New York City you'll be having this much fun?
Well, I was in sports writer for 18 years, and it was a great experience to be able to cover the Red Sox and a lot of other sports. And you know, I've been a singer-songwriter for longer than that, so it was sort of the two worlds collided, you know. And I wound up writing a lot of baseball songs, and so I'm going to do some of them today. And I think the fact that I was a sports writer, and I'm also a big fan, I'm still a fan now, gave me sort of a unique perspective into players and situations in baseball. So
Newman is known for combining music, sports, comedy, and audience participation to provide an entertainment experience for his crowd.
I look forward to engaging the audience. I like to do songs that people understand. So most of my lyrics are pretty straightforward, that people understand what it is. But I look to see people who are kind of leaning forward and engaging and understanding the songs and laughing. I do a lot of comedy and humor into the show, and I like when people ask me questions or whatever. I sing along, so I try to really involve the audience. They're part of the show.
Newman, known as one of the most engaging performers on the New England folk circuit, had a late start to his career as a singer-songwriter. However, he has had much success since.
But once I started playing and songwriting came, you know, in the beginning you write a lot of lousy songs, but I finally worked through that, and I got to the point where I was writing good songs, and some of them were about baseball. Most of them were about sort of everyday life, you know, things that happen to people, and I think that's what people can really relate to.
He performs a specific baseball show at senior centers that encompasses baseball songs, baseball trivia, and personal stories about his days as a sports writer on the Red Sox beat.
He was a 12 and didn't mean anything. Then he joined the Sox, and Duncan Cavage really rocked.
Through his satirical baseball performance, Howie embraces the authenticity of baseball and provides a comical twist that engages his audience.
I think most people can relate to it the best. They've either played it on a certain level or they just really understand it more. And it's very slow, but it has a very rich history. And I think because it's slow, I think that lends to its charm, because you can analyze, you know what the situation is, you know what the player is, and you can think of what might happen in a certain situation. That's why I think baseball really is more of a kind of a personal game.
With opening day around the corner, Howie's performance certainly got the Council on Aging in the right spirits. From the Council on Aging, I'm Madison Metzdorf for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Madison, and thank you, Robert. The Burlington Board of Selectmen is seeking residents who would like to apply for an important board in town. The board is looking to fill one alternate member seat on the Zoning Board of Appeals. Residents seeking to serve their community in a volunteer capacity may contact the Board of Selectmen's office. The purpose of the Zoning Board of Appeals is to hear and decide appeals from an adverse decision on the building inspector or any town board, to make determinations in flood hazard districts, to hear and decide petitions for variances, and to issue comprehensive permits under MGL Chapter 40B, a release from the Selectmen's office states. The Zoning Board of Appeals currently meets the first and third Tuesday of every month. If you wish to be considered for this position, please send a letter of interest, including a resume, to Betty McDonough at bmcdonough@burlington.org. The deadline for submitting applications will be 1 p.m. Friday, May 10th, 2019. The town of Burlington is offering a rain barrel program through the Conservation Department. Rain barrels can be purchased from the Great American Barrel Company. The same program was offered 2 years ago, according to Assistant Conservation Administrator Eileen Coleman, who said they thought this would be a good time to relaunch it again, especially since Burlington is currently under a water ban. This will provide residents a way to feel reassured they can water their plants without using sprinklers. Burlington is currently under an outdoor water ban because the town needs an emergency permit to connect to the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority supply live via Lexington. To be able to connect to the MWRA system, the town must be in a water emergency, which requires a water ban. Coleman stated the reason conservation is headed up this project because the department deals a lot with stormwater and with reducing stormwater pollution and reducing stormwater runoff into streets. They want people to be able to collect their rainwater and divert it for good uses, like watering their gardens. If you're thinking about purchasing a rain barrel, you can find them on display at the Conservation Department, the Burlington Public Library, and at Town Hall, along with order forms. The Great American Rain Barrel Company offers barrels in 3 different colors and also has galvanized steel water diverters that fit standard residential downspouts. Barrels must be ordered by May 12th, and pickup will be on May 18th. For more information, visit the Great American Rain Barrel Company website at www.greatamericanrainbarrel.com or call 800-251-2352. We're well into April, and so far, based on the old saying, we should expect to see plenty of Mayflowers. To see if the showers will continue in this week ahead, we go now to BNEWS weatherman Peter Brown in our Weather Center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Chris Flaherty to see what's happening in Burlington. Also this week, we'll take a look at a public service announcement created by Burlington Girl Scouts, who are undertaking a project to save the world's turtles.
Well, hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days, and here we are starting out in the middle of April. We're already getting, into the heart of spring, and unfortunately the old adage, April showers bring May flowers, that's going to continue for the next 7 days. Looks like we're going to see a lot of rain here in the Burlington area the next 7 days. Now, starting at a period on Friday, we're going to be seeing temperatures up around 60, but that's also going to come with the chance of some rain as we head into the evening. So if you're going out shopping, going out eating around in Burlington, keep in mind, you're going to have to keep the umbrellas handy with you. Although the only good thing is we're going to be about average or a little bit above, and that we're actually going to see that for the next few days here as we start out our period. So that's nice. If you're really a warm weather fan, looks like Saturday is going to be the pick of the week for you coming up. And of course, as you notice right here, our days keep getting longer and longer as we march through spring. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at what we're expecting for the precip coming up for the next 7 days. And as you can see up here in the Burlington area, really looks like we're expecting above average precipitation. So if you're not a rainy weather fan, this is really not going to be the week for you. As we go ahead, let's take a look at what our temperatures are supposed to look like for the next 7 days. And it looks like in our area here, all the way down, going down into Florida, looks like we're expecting above average temperatures. So it looks like the chances of snow are not going to be existent, going to be a little bit warm out there, but unfortunately a little bit of rain coming with that. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those temps and the weather coming up for the next 7 days. And again, starting out on Friday, again, starting out here in the 60s, and again, looks like we're going to see those chance of showers, and actually every day, all the way out through the next Thursday, we have a chance of rain almost every day. And if you're going out to see the marathon on Monday, it looks like you're going to really have to bring the raincoats and the umbrellas with you. It's going to be a little bit raw out there, kind of chilly, so keep that in mind as you start out April vacation week. But again, look at this on Saturday, temperature 73, so if you can get out, do anything on Saturday, folks, get out there, enjoy it. It's going to be a beautiful day. And again, in the morning, however, if you have to be out, going to be a little bit of rain again, so keep that in mind. And of course, as we go out and end the period out, we're going to see temperatures about average, maybe a little bit higher in the upper 50s to around 60 again, with that chance of wet weather. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the week, and have a great day.
Hi, my name is Melody, and I'm a junior Girl Scout. I would like you to think about what I'm about to tell you. Did you know that over 1 million marine animals, including sea turtles, are killed each year due to plastic trash in the ocean? When you use a single plastic disposable straws, you are directly impacting the lives and deaths of sea turtles. Turtles are being harmed by plastic straws getting up their noses. They also choke on them and swallow the plastic, which leads to their deaths. Scientists at the UGA New Materials Institute held a study which discovered tiny plastic particles smaller than the dust or powdered sugar inside baby sea turtles. Out of all the turtles observed on the study, we have found to eat in plastic. These baby sea turtles were likely dying due to eating plastic pollution. This could play a big part of the turtles becoming extinct. So next time you pick up some takeout, please consider leaving the straw behind. It will mean keeping our oceans a bit cleaner and saving the lives of our sea turtles. Thank you.
I'm Chris Flaherty, and this is your community calendar. You beetle believe it. On Thursday, April 18th at 7 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a presentation called A Cultural and Historical Reflection of the 1960s Through the Music of the Beatles with Fran Hart. Come and explore the cultural impact of the Beatles through video clips, live music, and fabulous sing-along. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, visit burlington.org. He's hopping around town leaving his eggs for you to look for. On Thursday, April 18th at 5:30 p.m. at Simons Park, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having their annual Easter egg hunt. There will also be a visit from the Easter Bunny himself. Children ages 2 through 12 are welcome. Pre-registration is required. For more information and to register, visit burlingtonrecreation.org or call 781-270-1695. Play some games while helping out Burlington students. On Sunday, April 28th from 2 to 4 p.m., the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation will be having an Apex Legends tournament at the Microsoft Store in the Burlington Mall. All proceeds will benefit the adopted class of 2024. For tickets, visit buytickets.at/BCSF. I'm Chris Flaherty, and this is your community calendar.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Melody. And thank you, Chris. The spring sports season is in full swing, and for the latest Red Devils action, we go to BNews sports reporter Joe Viscioni for this week's Sports Report.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Viscioni with your weekly sports report. The spring sports season has hit high gear at BHS. The boys tennis team faced off against Winchester to take on the Sachems. Things were not going their way, however, as they fell 2-2 on the season. 5-0 is the final score. The Red Devils will have a big game ahead of them on Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m. against the Wakefield Warriors at Rohannes Park. The girls tennis team also lost to the Sachems as well, ending their 2-game win streak. Although this was a loss, there were some individual wins for the team. Senior and captain Madison Metzdorf and Jess Abrevea pulled away with 3-1 victories. The Lady Devils will be playing on Thursday afternoon at Wakefield Memorial at 4 p.m. The girls lacrosse team had their home opener at Marshall Simons Middle School Brush Field this past Tuesday against the Belmont Marauders. We were there, and let's show you some of the highlights we have for you.
Spring was in the air. Or was it? This week, the Burlington Red Devils faced off against the Belmont Marauders at the Marshall Simons Middle School Brush Field. The game was the Lady Devils' home opener and first of the 2019 varsity lacrosse season. Although it was Burlington's home game, Belmont would take majority of the scoring in the first half. The Marauders scored at will as the Lady Devils allowed 12 points. Burlington would eventually get on the score before halftime, only getting 2 points. In the second half, the ladies picked up the pace as they scored an additional 5 points. The Marauders would also add 5 points to the board as well. It was a hard-fought battle, but the war isn't over yet. Burlington suffered a loss during their first game of the season, 17-7. The Lady Devils will travel down the street to take on the Woburn Tanners on Friday at 4:15 p.m.
Boys lacrosse won their first game of the season against Belmont 13-2. Goalie Colin Brown had 14 saves, while Paul DeRamo had 4 goals and assists. Mitchell Maida had 3 goals and 5 assists, while Sam Gillis had 4 goals. The team will face off against the Woburn Tanners on Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m. at Varsity Field. The Red Devils track teams are off to a good start. Boys track secured their second win of the year against the Wilmington Wildcats 76-60. Individual wins were made by juniors Brandon Cassio and Tom McInich in the 100-meter hurdles, senior Tim Pinkham in the 400-meter hurdles, and junior Colin Wynn in the javelin. The boys have an invitational against North Andover on Saturday, April 13th. The Lady Devils track team just won their first game of the season against the Wildcats, 80-56. Sophomore Sydney Hovas made 3rd place in the triple jump on her first try. Freshmen Gabby Gillis and Madison Bowden made 3rd place as well. Gillis competed in the 100-meter hurdle, while Bowden competed in the 2-mile. The Lady Devils will have another game in a couple of weeks against the Stoneham Spartans on Wednesday, April 24th at Varsity Field starting at 4 p.m. Finally, we end this week's sports report with some highlights from the annual Burlington Rotary Club event, Fight Night at the Fights. There was a lot of action, so let's check it out.
Screaming and cheering could be heard inside the Baruga Elks for the annual Friday Night at the Fights, hosted by the Burlington Rotary Club. A number of boxers from around the region came out to participate and compete for a chance to add another W to their career. Matches throughout the evening were action-packed and full of head-to-head action at its finest. You can check out all the bouts coming soon on BCAT TV and our website. This has been Robert Paris for BNews Sports.
Anyways, that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Joe Viscioni, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Joe. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week, we have a photo that captures a lot of young Burlington talent all in one frame. It was a photo I snapped and shows Burlington Elementary School chorus members at the All-Town Chorus Concert earlier this month. They may be small, but those kids can sing. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Well, that's it for this week's edition of BNews Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you around town. Good night.